Hey everybody, thanks for joining in. As we know, it's Friday afternoon right now, and that means, hey, it's time for a cold one, time to get to the Hookstead's mailbag. So we're going to hammer through a few questions here that you, the fans, sent in on a variety of different topics. But first, I do want to address, I'm kind of informal wear today. You probably asked David, you work at a news company. Aren't you in a suit and tie every day? And yet here you are, you're wearing a Badgers football jacket. Well, they say in life what you should do is dress for the job you want and not the job you have. Currently, I'm a sports reporter, but I'd love to be the Badgers football coach, so that is why I dress up every day like I'm a unemployed but very eager to get a job coach. So let's dive in. Obviously, we all know the last weekend's NFL season had crazy protest after Trump said some stuff at the Alabama rally, called Kaepernick or anyone who kneels a son of a bitch, get him off the field, et cetera, et cetera. Protests sweep the league, so we do cover that. First question is, I'm done with the NFL, as it seems many others are. So do you have any suggestions for a Thanksgiving without the NFL? Well, the first thing I would say to you is don't give it up yet. Thanksgiving's a little bit of ways. However, if you do give it up, play some football with your family. Every Thanksgiving, I'm out there in my Grandma Domish's house, which is on my mom's side, and we're in the backyard, and it usually starts off pretty casual. We have 6, 7 beers apiece maybe. Then after one dirty hit, all hell breaks loose. Fists start getting thrown. It's wild. It ends in a melee every year, but it's always very fun. We get back inside, crack open a few more cold ones, and everyone goes home happy. So if you don't want to watch the games, and I'm a Lions fan. Lions play every Thanksgiving, so it's kind of my tradition to watch with my grandfather and family. But if you don't want to do that, break out the football, put some beers on ice, spend some time with your family, take it out in the yard, and you won't really miss it probably that bad if you're already giving it up after this point of the season. What does it feel like waking up and not having any friends or family that have ever told you they love you? Is it rough? I actually get asked this question quite a bit, at least 2 or 3 times a week. It's weird. I don't know what sense I give off that people think my family is disowned me or I don't have friends. I mean, I have 2, 3 friends. I do actually have a female friend. It's interesting. Female women or women in general are interesting folk. Is it rough? At times it can be. The thing is, I live such a horrible life that I only get paid to talk about sports and movies and women. And when you cash paychecks and they come from the fact you only get to talk about sports, you only get to talk about movies, you only get to talk about women, yeah, you feel really hollow. I mean, after you drink 6, 7 beers in the middle of the afternoon on a Friday and you've spent the last 2 hours debating the NFL, it's like, will I ever be fulfilled? Will I ever come into work and be happy? So it is rough. I mean, being me is very rough. My bank account's rough. Everything about me is rough. The work environment's rough. I don't have to wear a suit. That's rough. I wish someone would force me to just have a shittier life. Yeah, so in general, very rough. Very rough. I'm sure it's not nearly as fun as your life, or whoever sent this question. I'm sure you have a much better one. Now, we kind of have a lengthy one here. This is going to go back to the NFL now. My question is, where's the appropriate place for pro athletes to protest? Then he dives in, take a knee at a public school. What about a court hearing? What about at prison? Or how about at a shoe factory in Vietnam or outside of a Foot Locker where they produce shoes for billionaire Michael Jordan and LeBron James, who's not far behind in the money category. A local field of dandelions is more of a risk than a safe space of a football game. I actually think, number one, the point here is you do not have a right to just kneel on your job. NFL players are employed, they have contracts, they have bosses, and if the boss tells you not to do something and you do it anyways, you can be fired. Your First Amendment does not apply to the workplace. If I walk in this office tomorrow or Monday, because tomorrow's Saturday, college football, if I walk in this office on Monday and I just get on the floor and start ranting and raving and my boss comes over and says, shut the hell up, and I'm like, whoa, I'm just exercising my First Amendment right. He's going to fucking fire me, as he should. So the reality is, protest on your own time, protest in public spaces, government buildings, outside of government buildings. I don't think they'd let you take a knee inside a courtroom. I think a judge would have a problem with that. But don't bring it into the workplace. Fans don't pay a ton of money to go to an NFL game to watch multimillionaires cry and complain about how they're oppressed. It's so divorced from reality, it's almost sickening. I'm there to get a few pops with the boys, watch the Lions score some touchdowns, watch the Lions get screwed over by the NFL on a rule no one knew existed. That's what I pay my money for. I don't pay to watch a guy making $20 million a year tell me how life's not fair. What are your thoughts on PK Subban? He's a born Canadian. of the Nashville Predators having more respect and integrity to stand for the national anthem than American NFL players who protest this. So it's funny we're actually answering this in the Friday mailbag because I covered this earlier in the week in an article, and to me it comes down to one real simple thing. Hockey players pride themselves on their ability to not be bigger than the team. They pride themselves on not ever being a distraction. There's no hockey player that is bigger than the other guys on the roster with them. By definition, when you kneel for the anthem or protest the anthem, even if you believe what you're doing is right, you're still a distraction. You're still a distraction to the team. The news talks about it. The fans talk about it. Focus is lost on the actual game, right? So when he's like, even though he's Canadian, he's like, I'm not going to kneel for the national anthem. To me, that's not really a political statement. It's more of a hockey guy statement. Because essentially what he's saying is, I'm not bigger than the team. I'm not going to draw attention away from my teammates. They wouldn't do that to me. We're here to play hockey. They revel in the idea that they're able to rise above. It's about the sacrifice. It's about the team. And it's about not being distracted, which is what we have not seen so far in the NFL. I do not think that you will see a lot of protesting in the NHL, if any at all this season. I'd be very shocked. Final question. This actually comes in from a fan who was willing to give her name. When are you going to mention me in one of your blogs? Now, this was brought in by Eve Pizer of Vice News. Now, I was first introduced to Eve on Twitter about a month ago when she brought up my daily schedule. Well, she tweeted out a bunch of headlines I'd written that she thought was funny, and I kind of took a whack at them. And here's the thing with Eve Pizer. A lot of people take themselves way too seriously on social media, way too seriously. They think everyone should listen to their every word. It's a cancer that should be eradicated. To Eve's credit, even though I'm sure her and I disagree on just about every single political thing, she's very entertaining. I hope that she finds this interesting that I'm talking about her in the blog like she asked. I think that while we don't get along politically, Eve and I probably would have a very, very fun conversation with each other. And that's that. So anyways, that's the Friday mailbag. Don't forget, you do have college football tomorrow. You got college football tonight, USC, Washington State. Have a great weekend. Pound as many beers as you can. Remember, don't be kneeling in the bars now when they're playing the national anthem. Don't be a distraction to your teammates, your buddies in that situation. They're there to drink beer. They're not there to deal with you. Okay, so anyways, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining in.